We run a crypto and DeFi academy, so I'm constantly walking people through that. And yeah, we forget how much of a mind-blowing concept it is for someone that's new. Also, you're in Austin, which is quite the forward-thinking capital, right? A lot of tech bros have moved there from Cali. And so I'm surprised that you still find that the people you meet don't know that much about crypto. But then again, maybe that's just the state of the US right now.
Right. Well, they call Austin the Silicon Hills. It's, it's definitely like you've got Tesla, you've got a bunch of companies have moved here. You've got, a lot of content creators. You got, I think, Mark Moss, Alex Jones. You've got J. Cal
Rogan,
Joe Rogan, Andre Marcus. These guys, they're all here. They all obviously know about this stuff. I think what I'm encountering right now is I'm looking to lease a luxury home, and this is usually old money. Right. And so that's been my experience for the past 3 weeks of being here, is constantly every day trying to find a place to call home for the next 12 months at least. And that's what I've been dealing with. So I have a feeling, though, that when I get plugged in, some friends introduced me something called ATX DAO, which is just Austin, decentralized crypto community. So I think when I get plugged in more and start doing networking and can, put aside the house hunting and actually settle down, I think that I'll start to experience that side of Austin more. I haven't really got to taste that yet.
Kyle, you mentioned that the alt season will be coming. About 10 days ago, I was at the Global Family Office Summit in Dubai, and I sat at a table with someone, and they leaned over me and said, "I don't think there will be an alt season." And I looked at them. They've been in the market for quite a few years. And I looked at them. First time I heard anybody say that. Of course, my stomach dropped, because I think you and I both have a lot of, pre-sale tokens in really good utility companies. I think we really look at the stuff that I believe is going to be the future Google or Amazon of the Web3 space. But when you hear something like that, you think, wow, is that true? What do you say to someone who says that?
Well, I definitely don't think that's true. I think that it's going to be a potentially more difficult alt season than we've ever had before, because altcoins largely, almost entirely, are narrative driven. Not always. Like when, for paid network, for example, if you have an alt season and if these launches are doing well, then we have true demand for the token, which drives that up. But large in part, it's driven by narrative. And now we have these platforms that allow anyone to create a token with just a tweet, and it is and you hear these stories of people who buy into these things at stupid low valuations, and they run up and then they post screenshots of their gains, and then people think that that's realistic. And then you have, but the guys who build the picks and shovels are the ones actually making all the money. It's the picks and shovels.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
And the guys who maliciously create these tokens that are actually winning right now and extracting the money that should, in my opinion, be going to good utility projects. And so it'll be more difficult. But I think that what happens is people learn their lessons, and when you get burnt enough time, and if you play the meme coin casino, inevitably you will get burnt enough times, you will get tired of that and you might leave for a while, which we've seen now. But then you might come back and you realize, okay, I need to be paying attention elsewhere. I need to be investing in the future behemoths because I see what's happening on the news. I see what's happening on a geopolitical landscape. I see that these technologies are being used. I mean, BlackRock is building on Ethereum. They have the Biddle fund, and they've got, Chainlink integrating with real companies. And so when you see, and you see the Trumps promoting Ethereum, for example, the ETF, if they start allowing the staking to happen in the ETFs, now you have potentially people like Vanguard who might come in because, the Vanguard CEO says we don't invest and we don't buy things that don't earn us passive yield. But if you can stake your ETH and earn passive yield, maybe Vanguard comes into the ETFs. But inevitably, I believe it's going to happen. And what might make the saying, a rising tide lifts all ships, is there's probably more liquidity coming into the market than ever before. And so even though we have an attention game fight like never before, we probably see more liquidity coming into things never before. And a lot of people, and that's why I think the American audience is so important for this, is because they're going to come in and a lot of them are going to look for good quality companies to invest into, right? And they're going to understand this is the next internet revolution. This is the next AI revolution where money will be made and generational wealth will be created. And, for Bitcoin, that's your store of value. That's how you preserve your purchasing power. That's how you protect it from the inflationary and the de-dollarization that's happening. That's how you protect it from the housing collapse that's probably going to come, or at least has currently stalled out over the last 2 years and likely will probably correct. So where else are you buying right now?
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.